Howdy y'all, welcome to Hazenboro Craftworks. I'm the Alchemist. And I reckon there's no hiding the bottle we've got going for us this week, as it comes in this nice big Booker's box. And this is the last bottle that I was able to get in my visiting distilleries down in Bardstown in June with my beautiful bride. And this bottle is 2026-02 Booker's release. They usually do 3 to 4 releases a year. And this one is known as Milkshake. And there's a little bit of a story behind the Milkshake bottle. And that is that Booker No and Fred No used to go to a lake nearby, and they would go fishing. And on their way home from fishing, there was a ice cream shop, and so they'd stop in for a chocolate malt to share together. And after having that tradition for quite a few years, Booker decided that he was going to try to mimic that recipe, and came up with a milkshake recipe that was quite successful. He thought it was spot on to what they would get in that ice cream shop, so that whenever he had a sweet tooth going, he could make that malt for himself. Well, there was a time when they were on their way back that Booker decided that he was going to pour some Jim Beam whiskey in there, stir it up, and that was an instant hit for himself and Fred. So anytime that he got that sweet tooth, now that he can make it at home, he'd whip up a batch, and then 3 generations at that time would share malts. Booker and Fred would have their spiked version, and Freddie at that time would just have a non-spiked version, so the story goes. But now this one, Booker's, was in memory of Booker No and that milkshake. And it comes in at about 120 some proof, 124.4, and I picked it up at the distillery for $99.99, which is the typical MSRP, but I have seen it go for $89.99, and I did pick up a bottle for as low as $79.99 before as well. So, but let's dive into this one, and let's see how close they came to a milkshake. I'm getting vanilla, and I'm getting for any of y'all who don't know, Jim Beam is known for its nuttiness. Myself personally, unlike the white label and even some of the black labels, I don't get a lot of that nuttiness. But in the Bookers, as you can see, I'm a bit of a Bookers fan here. I get that on the Bookers. I've even had a couple of little books that I've tasted, and I get it a little bit in a couple of those that I've had. Myself personally, I like Bookers better than Little Book, even though Little Book is the higher end. Booker's just hits my palate and my preference a little bit more, but I am getting that nuttiness here, and that oh my, sorry about that. Getting some brown sugar and caramel now too, like they're mixed in there. A lot of baking spice, just a touch of like cocoa, like maybe a cocoa powder, but just a hint. And now that I forgot what story I was telling you, I'm just gonna dive in for my sips and see what we got on the palate. That is creamy, very creamy. And I'm first hit with, I mean, right up front, it's equal. Hit right away with a nice sweet caramel and like a milk chocolate side by side. Oh my gosh, that's good. Oh, milkshake's a good name. There's also sweet vanilla in here. This is just like a palate heaven. If you like a complex, flavorful bourbon, oh, that vanilla is just mixing in now. It's like a vanilla cream. And I get that nice beam nuttiness as things are, the sweetness is calming down. There's a little bit of cinnamon and just a little bit of oak. Like you're serving it out of one of your oak bourbon cups, if any of y'all have ever used any of those. Now that it's resting for a while, the oak is building up a little bit more, coming a little bit more apparent on the back of the palate. That vanilla lingers nicely. And I'd still even say it's a creamy vanilla that I'm getting yet. And that sweet caramel is still in there. And the oak, and a little bit of that oak or barrel spice is still there, but it just complements that sweetness, that vanilla cream. Oh my. What a fantastic tribute to Booker Noe here. And I would love to know how in the world you pick the barrels to make it a milkshake. This is just amazing. Even as I sat there just reading that, breathing in through my nose, it enhances that vanilla cream and that sweet caramel on the finish of this. Very nice. Nice bottle. You know, and what I've noticed too, even though this Booker's is typically more of an allocated, I have rarely ever seen it here in small town South Dakota where I live. But I got a call from my guy at Hy-Vee liquor store here in town saying they got their first ever full case of Booker's 2026-02 in, and I had to break it to them. I already got one when I was in the distillery, but usually they only would get one a year about Christmas time, and it was in there. They put that in their Christmas big Christmas drawing at the end of the year. So things are opening up just a little bit here anyway with some Jim Beam product, and that's kind of good to see right now. Gives me a little bit of hope here in small town South Dakota. But as you all know, I love to have you all coming back around, so please take it easy. Don't drink and drive. Cheers.